hey, if you're a US citizen and you want to protect your retirement and you haven't got our free ebook yet, then you're really missing out. So click on the link in the description and find out how you can secure your retirement and your future today.
Well, Adam,
It's
James,
chicken.
how the devil are you, chaps?
Yeah, very good. Thanks. How are you?
Very good, mate. Very good.
Yeah, great, mate. We've had a little bit of rain. Sun is shining.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely, lovely. What a hard life.
I'm not going to ask how the weather is over there because I know it's shit.
No point.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
point.
yeah. Don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell. It's not good.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, how's the gold bullion and the silver going? Let's get into it.
Yeah, all good. We should mention the ratio has been really high. Currently, as we're recording today, it's up at 91, which it's probably been there a handful of times in history. So really kind of overextended in one way. So if we had any gold today, we would be 100% switching that to silver. Yeah, history shows that this is a good ratio to move.
It's an opportunity. It's a real big opportunity. If you've got spare cash or if you're in gold at the minute, if you switch to silver or buy silver today, it's a great time.
Yeah.
Because the higher it goes, you know, it's like an elastic band. Adam always explains it this way. It's like an elastic band. It can only go so far, and then it'll just ping back. So if you buy it when it's stretched right out, if you buy it at that point in the 90s, silver in the 90s, and it pings back, and it drops the ratio, and you switch it back to gold again, you're going to have, yeah, it's going to make a big, big difference. Big difference.
So that's what's kind of going on generally. But today we wanted to talk about kind of the different stages that we've been buying and what we've learned along the way. And if you're really smart and you learn about some of this stuff, you can get a lot more for your money. It's kind of the more you're willing to learn, the more you can actually earn. And it's for every individual just to decide what level of engagement they want with that. Some people want to take it, they want to learn everything and get the most out of it. And some people say, look, I'm actually happy just learning a little bit and getting a little bit back. And that's completely fine. But we'll give you 6 steps to get more for your money and be as profitable as you can when buying. Do you want to just give us a quick disclaimer, James?
Yeah, I love my disclaimers, don't I?
Well,
so yeah, we're not financial advisors. This is mainly for all the people that have never seen us before, and for everybody else, it's a reminder. We're not financial advisors. We never will be. We don't believe in advice. We never have, right from the very beginning. We've only ever believed in sharing information with families and sharing information regarding things that we do for our families and our friends and our customers. So it's not theory. We do this, and then people can either take it or leave it. It's totally up to them. But it's all about education. It's all about empowering you to be in a better place financially. We've done it for ourselves. Now it's your turn if you want to take the first step and get cracking.
Right. Let me share my screen. Okay, so we've got 6 steps to increase your precious metal profits. Here we go. We're going to run through all 6. So the first one, look, the first stage is you're winning if you've chosen to buy metals in the first place. This is what we started with. We moved from paper money in a bank to metals. And we were paying the VAT. We were paying the sales tax. But we weren't really that bothered. We didn't know any other way. And we were just happy to be out of cash. And that's the first rung on the ladder. And if you're there, then tick, you're winning. Everyone, at whichever level you're at, you're always winning with all of these. But that would be the first level that kind of we got to. The second step to make that a little bit more efficient is simply buying metals, but not paying the VAT. So silver, palladium, and platinum, the white metals, you pay VAT, sales tax. In the UK, it's 20%. It's usually 20-25%. And it's just a tax. And it makes your investment so much more inefficient when you pay it, because it's 20% that could have been buying more metals rather than just paying a tax to the government for literally nothing. We always say, you know, the metals are no shinier when you've paid the VAT. They just look the same, but the governments, you know, they either have their part or they don't. For us, we don't want them to have their part. We want that money to go into buying more metals. So yeah, very simple from step 1 to step 2. And that can even change the game. If you think about how much 20% compounded over time, how much that could grow and get you by the end can be a significant amount. So we actually show customers a way where they can store metals and not pay the VAT. Not all storage is the same. So not all storage will enable you to not pay the VAT legally. So you've got to look into it. It's something we use called a bonded warehouse. And it's just like a vault in a duty-free zone. So it's the first step just to get you 20% or 25% more metals in your pocket, not give cash to the government.
As you said, Adam, just don't take it as a given. Ask these questions.
Yeah.
Because they're not all the same, as you said.
Yeah. We've seen many places that say, yes, you can store your silver, but you still end up paying the VAT. So the next step 3, and this is what we've done. So we've done all of these steps, is to buy more during a promotion. So when there's promotions on, you are getting free metals for just making the purchase that you were going to make anyway. So it's like, you know, X amount of pounds, dollars, euros can get you, let's say, 100 grams without the promotion. And with the promotion, it gets you 105 grams. Why would you not do that? You know, it makes total sense. As soon as there was a good time where we didn't actually catch on to this. I know that sounds really, it sounds really kind of dumb of us not to recognize it, but we were just kind of buying and, you know, getting used to buying metals in general. And then we thought, hang on a minute, if we time this a little bit and buy during a promotion, then we're getting more for our money. So our money is actually buying more metal. Think about compounding the last few steps. So if you're not paying the VAT, so the 20% is going in your pocket, not the government's pocket, and then you're taking that, your money plus the VAT that you didn't pay, and then buying during a promotion, the compound effect of that is starting to be significant. And this is how you can get ahead just with, you're not increasing the amount of money that you're spending, you're just spending it in a strategic way. And this is what our whole thing's been about. It's all been about being smart and learning ways to make things go further so that you're better off in the long run.
Now, we don't just buy then, Adam, just to be very clear for everyone watching this, we buy every 2 weeks because that's another strategy, isn't it, Adam? But we like to have spare cash for when we have the promotions on to buy more and make the most of them.
Yeah, and if we know that they're coming up or we think, okay, this kind of time, there's usually a promotion, then it makes sense for us to time our purchases. So yeah, definitely worth doing. The next step, as James just said, is to buy using a strategy. And you might say, look, at this point, I'm happy just to not pay the VAT and to buy more during a promotion and have those two compounding. And yeah, I'm happy at that stage. I don't really want to look into anything any deeper. Great. If that's where you are, that's the level you want to interact at, absolutely no problem. At least you're going to get more. The next one is using a strategy. So what do we mean by a strategy? Well, there's two main strategies that we use, and we actually use them together, but you can use them individually. So the first strategy is called the cost averaging effect. And all that means is buying on a regular basis. For example, monthly, every 2 weeks, every week, something like that. And what that does is it smooths out the price fluctuations. So let's say when the price is kind of going up a bit, down a bit, up a bit, down, generally on a short term, you know, it's kind of meandering around. Let's say when the price goes down and you're buying, then your money, let's say you're buying 100 euros worth, your money just buys you more metal when the price dips. And when the price goes up a bit, your money buys you a little bit less. But because you're buying on a regular basis, you get some ups, some downs, and you get a better average price. You can kind of do the maths on this and work it out, but or you can take our word for it, it's up to you. But basically just it smooths out these price fluctuations, meaning that overall you have more metal in your pocket for the same amount of money spent. The second strategy is actually us timing the market or trying to time the market. So we're not really timing it as much as saying, okay, we're going to wait for it to get to, we're going to buy in a month or something like that. What we're doing is we're looking at price and saying price has hit this level. If it goes up and hits that level again, then we're going to buy. So it's more strategic. Some people will want to just sit back and automate their buying every 2 weeks or every month. And other people want to look at the charts a little bit more often, and will want to pick certain points and try and spot trends and things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's just like you said, mate. We use both. Just for everyone's very clear on that, we do use both. And it's not so much time in it, like you said, Adam, is it? It's just if the price goes down to a certain point, we know that that's a really good price. We bought quite a lot at 70. I think it was a 1,700 mark, wasn't it? Dollars an ounce of gold when it dropped down below that at one point. Great time to buy more if we've got spare cash, and we did. So we did. Yeah.
So that's, and there's lots of different strategies out there that you can use, but those are the main two that we use. That again, we don't want to sit there up all night kind of analyzing charts, ready to click buttons and do all this kind of thing. Those two, we can kind of take a bit of a step back and still benefit. So if you could not pay the VAT, buy more during a promotion, and buy using a strategy, then you're really well on your way to getting more for your money. Your money's going a lot further. The fifth one is buying using the gold-silver ratio. So this is, we've not talked about which metal we're buying up to this point. So buying using a strategy, buying more during a promotion, that could be either metal. Buying using the gold-silver ratio is actually deciding which metal to buy at that time. So as we said at the beginning of this video, the ratio is currently around 91 as we're recording today. So that for us is massively in silver territory. So if we're buying using our strategy, whether that be buying every 2 weeks, or let's say there's a promotion on, we would be utilizing those, but we'd be buying silver. So the gold-silver ratio would dictate which metal we're buying for that strategy or during that promotion.
Yeah, and just if you use that strategy alone, you're going to be in a much better place.
Yeah,
financially down the line.
All of these take effort. They all, to find a company where you don't have to pay the VAT, to work out when the promotion's on, and to time your purchase a little bit so that it's in that promotion, and make sure you're getting the most out of it. Buying using a strategy of, buying it on a regular basis or watching the charts, and then using the gold-silver ratio, understanding that it all takes effort. But I guess anything worth having in life takes effort. You need to get something out, you've got to put something in. And our journey has always been that the more we've learned and the more of these things we've picked up, it's accelerated the growth of our investments over the long term. So if you look at it on a like an hourly rate of how much you make compared to how much effort and time you put in, it's definitely worth doing. Definitely. So let's imagine you've compounded all of those things. You're well on your way. The sixth one is the one that really changes everything, and that is to switch metals. So this is not talking about buying necessarily. You're not buying more metals when you're switching, but what you're doing is you're making use of the metals that you've already bought, and you're moving them either from gold to silver, silver to gold, when the ratio kind of indicates. Again, it takes some effort to work out, to get familiar with the ratio. I always kind of talk about the ratio, like imagine you're driving a car. You understand what 100 miles an hour is, and you understand what 10 miles an hour is. 100 miles an hour is fast, 10 miles an hour is slow. With the gold-silver ratio, you just need to get familiar with what is high and what is low, and then pick some points on it. Like today, we were saying the ratio is 91. That's really high. Just because we've seen it over time and we've put some time and effort into getting accustomed to how it works. As soon as you do that, you can know when to switch. 91, right, switch gold to silver. And if it came down to say 75, something like that, then switching that silver back to gold would make sense. And once you've got to grips with it, it's rinse and repeat. All of this stuff is really, so it's initial effort up front that then pays you continually.
And as you've said in the past, Adam, this is such a it's such a clear way of explaining this. I think, even if you were to get metals at a really cheap price, you get the metals at the best price possible. Let's just say, for an example, for 100-gram bar of gold, that 100-gram bar of gold is still 100 grams in 10 years' time. With the switching, okay, even if you did pay a little bit more with us, with our guys, you could turn that 100-gram bar into 200-gram bar, 300-gram bar. You've got there's no ceiling, there's no limit, and that's without actually putting your hand in your pocket again. You wouldn't have to buy any more to do that. And we've
Adam,
seen this time and time
part,
again. It is a game changer.
sorry, James. Adam, the part
Yeah.
at the bottom where it says on silver and gold, buying metals and paying the VAT, and then not paying VAT is obviously we have like a global audience. How does that work in different countries? Is that because it's obviously different, right? Or not?
Yeah, so VAT, it's called VAT in some countries, it's called sales tax in other countries, and that percentage changes. So some countries, it's like in the UK, it's 20%. I think in Germany, it's 19%, 25% in some Scandinavian countries. So it's not a universal percentage. And there might be some countries, obviously, we don't analyze every single country, but there might be some countries where you maybe don't have to pay it, but there's a lot that you do. The majority of countries you do. Okay. So it's like, it's an easy win. It's low-hanging fruit, really. It's something that it doesn't take much time and effort. You just have to buy it with a company that offers storage in a bonded warehouse. That's the detail. And once you know that, then you can just buy away and you don't have to think about it again. But it's such a big thing that we just didn't do it first.
We just didn't know, did we? You don't know what you don't know. And we were like, wish somebody had told us this. And this is why we do what we do now, basically. We could, it'd be very easy for us just to sell metals to people left, right, and centre. Just go, yeah, you want some gold? There you go. Do you want some silver? There you go. But this is what we do extra. This is what we educate families rather than just, allow them to buy precious metals. This education is key because it can put you in a better place, a much better place. Without this education, you're missing a big, big part of the puzzle. You need to understand it.
Right.
I think it would be interesting to look at, if we could do this, to look at side by side two people's investing journeys. Let's say they started with the same amount of cash. So the cash value was the same. And one person did all of this. They're not paying with VAT, they're not buying with VAT, they're buying a bit more during promotions, using strategy, gold silver ratio, switching, and someone that just buys and doesn't do any of it. And I think initially the two, if you were kind of to plot their journey, I think initially their journeys would look quite similar. And then as time went on, one would stay flat and the other would rocket up.
Compound, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And that's the difference. But remember, they both started with the same cash amount at the beginning. And this is the thing that I think is sometimes hard to grasp, when it's small differences over time make big differences. And sometimes those small differences at the beginning seem a bit insignificant, and they seem a bit like, well, is it really worth it? But if you can get the compound effect to work for you, then it takes off. It looks like a hockey stick. It just kind of picks up towards the end. And like we always say, it's the results that come later on. It's like delayed gratification, isn't it?
Well, we can say this with confidence now, Adam, can't we? Because we've seen the results. It's not theory anymore. It hasn't been theory for years. We've been doing it ourselves and for our customers.
Yeah. And that's, if anything was to change, we'd let people know. But this is the way that we've been able to get the most out of our purchases and really take them to the next level. But people have to decide again how much of this they want to do. Some people might just want to interact at the first few levels, and that's completely fine. We're not saying this is one size fits all. We're just saying, look, if you want to really take things to the next level, go up and up and up through these stages.
Yeah.
And yeah, it can make a difference, especially if you've got a bit of time as well. Like if you're wanting to buy metals today and sell them in 6 months' time, yeah, the VAT will make a difference. If there's a promotion during that time, using a strategy is probably not going to do much. Gold silver ratio, possibly. Switching, maybe, but probably not. But if you've got a few years, then that's when you're going to see this next level for sure.
Yeah.
And metal should always be a long-term investment, Adam, in our view, shouldn't it? It's not something that it's not something where what you put in is going to grow over just a few months normally, unless the prices have just shot up through the roof. The switching changes that to a certain degree. If you switch at the right points and do what we teach, to speed things up. But it should always be a long-term strategy, and only money that's unallocated to. Don't be putting it in if you need to sell it next week. If you can, just put spare money in there that would otherwise just be sat in the bank, doing nothing.
So yeah, if people kind of recognize where they are on that, some people might be already halfway up and they want to take it to the next level. Maybe they just want to go up one step. It's all going to help, and it's all going to put more money, more metal in your pocket at the end of the day.
Great. That's very, very good of you, gentlemen, to give us all that information.